So today we're going to be making tikka paste, curry paste. Now it's Friday, you start to think to yourself, Friday night, curry, I could live off curry, I could have it morning, noon and night, absolutely love it. Really nice thing to have. Obviously there's all the little accompaniments you can make, and future sessions we'll probably do little side dishes, how to make your own chapatis, etc. But today it's all about the paste. Now, if you're not going for a takeaway or for a meal, we often resort to going for things like these. Now these are cooking sauces, and they're quite convenient, it's an ambient product, but the problem with them tends to be is if there's only a couple of you in the house, you maybe only use half that jar, but sit in the fridge for a couple of weeks before you have your next curry, and then you're probably going to be inclined to throw it away. So we're trying to reduce costs obviously where we can there, but also the cooking sauces themselves, they tend to be quite high in salt, quite high in sugar as well. So the lesser of the two evils, if you like, would be to go for something like a curry paste. Now there's different brands available, supermarkets do their own brand, obviously some well-known brands there as well, but these are a little bit more pure in terms of the ingredients rather than the sauce. You don't need a lot of them, they're pretty bulletproof as well, they'll sit in the fridge for a bit, and you can use those for your curries. But better still is making your own curries. And if you want to get into making curries, it's really straightforward. There's a lot of sort of things about spices and buying spices and the initial setup costs, and people get a little bit concerned. So I'm going to show you some little tips about how you can save money, start to build up your collection of spices, how you can store them, etc. But the first thing I want to do for our tikka today is I'm just going to talk you through the ingredients. Now the first thing I've got here, and people think when they look at the ingredients that's out for a paste, a curry paste, they think there's so much involved. But in actual fact, the hardest thing is just weighing out the ingredients. When you've weighed them out, the machine does all the work for you. So in here, I've got some coriander seeds. You're in for a treat if you're on Instagram today, because Georgina's using our little selfie stick there. We've got some cumin seeds. So these are dried seeds. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop them into a dry pan like so, and I'm just going to get them toasting while I'm talking about the other ingredients. Now this is going to bring out all the flavour, all the aromas, and then we're going to grind them down into like a powder. So we can just let that tick away on sort of medium heat, no oil in the pan. And then as we look through the other ingredients, I'll start to pop them into my blender. If you haven't got a blender, a liquidizer, anything like that, don't worry. If you've got a stick blender, this works with a stick blender, but also I've done this where you just chop everything really fine, and it's fine, you know, and with your seeds you can just bash them down with a rolling pin or something, so it can be adapted. You don't need to have all this fancy equipment, yeah? So the first thing I'll show you is Garam Masala, and I wish you guys could smell this. Now this is a blended spice mix, and this will have things in like ground cumin, coriander, fenugreek, turmeric, etc. And the beautiful thing about Garam Masala is, with it being a blend, different regions of India will have their own different blend spices as well. And if you think about Chinese cuisine, they have like 5 spice, which is a blend of spices. So this is like sort of the Indian equivalent, if you like, and it's really, really fragrant. So I'm just going to pour that in, and again, I'll put all the measurements on for this recipe, or a link to the recipe. The next thing I'm going to put in is one of my favourite spices. Now this is smoked paprika. So we'll have a little look there. So smoked paprika is basically made from sweet peppers that have been smoked and ground down. Now you can get 2 kinds of paprika, smoked paprika. You get dulce, which is a sweet version, or picante, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that right, and that's the more spicy version, yeah? So smoked paprika, in with that. Then the next thing I'm going to put in is this. Now this is cayenne pepper, and it looks very similar to your smoked paprika, but please don't mix the quantities up, because the difference between 6 tablespoons of smoked paprika and 6 tablespoons of cayenne pepper would mean your head blowing off basically, yeah? So make sure you get the quantities right. And this here is basically made with seeds and pods of various chilies, and again just bashed down, but it's quite fiery. So in with our cayenne pepper, and then we've got some fresh chilies. So basically I've just chopped them down. You can roughly chop them. If you're doing it in a machine, you could chop them even rougher than that. One of you guys you can see there on Facebook, you can chop them rough for that, because the machine will do all the work for you. So in with the chilies. And if you're a bit worried about spice as well, you can reduce the cayenne pepper. You can take the seeds and also the membrane out of the chili as well. So if you take that out, that's going to reduce the heat, but you're still going to get the flavour of the chilies. So the next thing I'm going to be popping in is I'm going to be popping in some, and I'm using my best accent here just in case my mother's watching, desiccated coconut, okay? Or as we say in Newcastle, desiccated coconut, okay? And this is going to give it a nice coconutty taste. So in with that. And then we've got another little ground one there, and that there is ground almonds, okay? So in with the ground almonds, like so. And then we come on to things like our garlic. So the garlic's just been peeled, roughly chopped again, yeah? Garlic's really good, it's going to give you that sort of really nice taste to the curry paste as well. Really smells delicious, good for the blood as well. So we've got our chopped garlic, in with that. Use a spoon, no stragglers there. And then the next thing we've got is ginger. And as I say, it seems like there's a lot going on here, but please, honestly, trust us, in terms of the flavour, it's going to be miles apart from one of those jarred sauces, yeah? And it's worth doing. And when you come to do it, make it up in a batch, make a big batch of it, because when you make a batch of it, guess what? This freezes, so you can portion it up and you've got it further down the line, so it's really, really versatile, yeah? So we've got ginger here, just roughly chopped, peeled and chopped. So ginger's going to give it a nice sort of fiery, spicy heat. If you think about if you ever had like ginger beer, and you get that real sort of ooh, yeah? That's what you're going to get from this as well, yeah? Really fresh as well. When you're buying ginger, go for smaller pieces. Try to get it so it's nice and firm as well. And when you peel the skin back, actually it should be quite moist underneath, so that's really, really fresh. And if you've got it in sort of bulk and you want to save it for another day, you can grate it, put it into sandwich bags, and it freezes as well. And use a teaspoon when you're peeling it, dead easy. Just imagine you're peeling potatoes with a knife, but safely with a teaspoon, really, really easy. So in with our ginger, like so. We'll just give our seeds a little bit of a shake. Now if you look at the seeds, as I say, you don't want to burn these, you just want them so they're just letting off a nice sort of medium heat, okay? So the next thing we're going to pop in is we're going to pop in some tomato puree. So in with that. Now as I say, this is a tikka paste, but there's various other pastes you can make. So you could do a jalfrezi version, a vindaloo, so have a look online. Jamie always got some fantastic recipe ideas for pastes, various pastes. Get going with them, and again, label them up, freeze them, you've got different ones. Especially for all you guys who are watching who work in community kitchens and you're making curries in bulk. Imagine if you've got a massive batch of this curry paste in the freezer ready to go, and then your delivery comes in from FARESHARE and you've got a load of cauliflower or a load of chicken or something. Before you know it, you've got your curry paste out, and making the actual curry itself when you've done the paste, it's really easy. We did a Tikka Masala class yesterday, and with the paste actually made the actual meal itself, and it was we did chickpeas, spinach, it was really, really tasty, and it took 15 minutes to cook. So you can make that in your community once you've got your paste, just a big pan of it, okay? So it's a nice thing to do there. So tomato puree in, and then we're using vegetable oil. So vegetable oil goes in, like so. Now most recipes for curries will say peanut oil, but we don't use peanut oil in the kitchen yet because of allergies. Yes, I know there's almonds in there, but we know they're in there. But if you had a bottle of peanut oil for curries and what have you, and the label came off, you might think it's a different kind of oil and pour it in. So just be careful in terms of allergies. So use a neutral oil. So veg oil, sunflower oil. I wouldn't use olive oil because I've never had an olive curry before. Anyone out there, please correct us if I'm wrong. If anyone's had an olive curry, I'd love to know about it. And if you've got the recipe, that'd be great. So I've got all the ingredients more or less in there now. I'm just going to take my seeds off now. And I'm going to bash these down in a pestle and mortar. So I'll just move that to one side. Lovely. Now, they've already been toasted, and already, Georgina will be able to testify, you can get the smell already coming from the aromas of the spices. But when we grind them down with a pestle and mortar into a powder, you're actually even going to get more flavours coming from them, more scent coming from them. So it's a really, really nice thing to do. Now you can buy ground cumin, you can buy ground coriander, but by doing it yourself, honestly, the flavour's just going to go and intensify even more. So it's worth doing, yeah? And as I say, if you want to get into making curry pastes, it is a really nice thing to do. And I mean, once you've got everything weighed out and it's all blitz, it's there, it's done, make a big batch of it, you've got it for another day, it's going to take all the hassle out of making a delicious curry. And I guarantee you, because I've done this myself, the nights fly by at our house, you could make a curry in less time, right, than it would take to phone up for a takeaway, honestly. And it's going to taste amazing as well. Can you smell that, Georgina?
I can, it smells beautiful.
Getting the waffle across there. So I'll just show you there how I've ground down to a powder. Yeah, our friends on Facebook. So in with our spices like so. And then finally, I'm just going to pop in some coriander, okay? So I've just washed this, and I'm just going to sort of tear it in, throw bits of Georgina as well, get it all in like so, and then we're ready to blitz. Now, at this stage, it's going to get a little bit noisy, so you're going to have to talk amongst yourselves, but you'll get the idea. So everything's in, lid on, mix it all together. I'm just going to stop for a second. It'll start to come up on the sides of the bowl, but don't worry, you can get a wooden spoon, turn off your plug, and just give it another little mix. But if you just keep it going, as it goes round, it'll start to bring itself all together anyway. So we'll just give it a good blend up. Wow, smelling great. Now, I'm just going to turn it off, and I'm just going to scrape a bit down from the side. Now, get your camera in there, Georgina. You can see there's still some sort of lumpy bits and stuff, and it's come together as quite a thick paste. Just add a splash of water in, and that'll help loosen things off a little bit. Oh, helps if you turn it on as well. Okay, mix it up. And our paste is nearly ready. It's as simple as that. Okay, so have a little look inside. Switch it off. Be careful with the blade, obviously the blade's sharp, you're using that, but as I say, I've done it in one of these before. I put all the mix into one of those and used a stick blender, hold the handle firmly, that works just as well, and I've done it just by chopping everything down finely. So you've got a really nice fragrant paste on here. Any sort of big bits, you can just give it another little bit of a sort of going over. We'll have another little splash of water in there just to loosen it slightly. Like so, turn it back on. And we're off and running again. Lovely. And that there is your paste done. So very carefully, we'll turn it off, just take out the blade. Get any curry paste off, we don't want to waste any of that. And then I'll just get rid of these, somewhere safe. And then we're ready to bag it up. So have a little look in here. That there is your curry paste done. Okay? You made it yourself from scratch. You know exactly what's gone into it. Okay? So you can put this into a jar. So nice clean jam jar. Keep it in the fridge for up to about a week. Just use what you want to use with it. That's absolutely fine. But what I like to do is if I've made a big batch of it, yeah, just take some, so a few portions worth. So, you know, it goes a long way, it's really intense in flavour. So you're going to take yourself some here. Now this is probably going to be enough in here for a good, I don't know, maybe even 10 meals, yeah? So we're just going to take our sandwich bag, seal it up like so. Wonderful. Big shout out to Mark as well. Hi Mark, thanks for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're going to be making yourself some curry. So, take your sandwich bag, just pat it down, like so. And now it's nice and flat, okay? So you can see there. And then basically what you would do is you'd label that up. Tikka paste, date was made. It's going to keep for a month, couple of months, maybe in the freezer maximum. and then you've got it. So literally Friday morning, yeah, all you would do is you take that out, or whatever morning it might be, pop it in the fridge. So you take it out of the freezer, pop it in the fridge. By the time you get home at night time, that's defrosted. You've got your paste ready to go. Now in the next video after this one, so not a live, but a video on YouTube, what I'll do is I'll show you how to use the paste and how to do a recipe. Big hello to Liberty Food Bank as well. Always good to hear from the food banks. Fantastic work you guys are doing, so thank you ever so much for joining us. Got my paste done, ready to go in the freezer, labelled up, etc. Job done. And you've still got loads of paste left, so you can just keep portioning it up. And like I say, in your community kitchens, this is a great thing to do because you get all that wonderful surplus food in from FARESHARE, and you can basically make up massive pots of curry for feeding your communities. So just a couple last points that I want to go over with regards to chilies. I know we've talked about heat and removing the heat by taking the seeds and the membrane out, but a sort of general rule of thumb, the smaller the chili, the hotter it is. Okay, so be careful. So them little bird's eye bullet chilies, whoo, blow your head off, yeah? Okay, so smaller the chili, more heat there, isn't it? And then I just want to show you a little bit, for those who are a little bit concerned, I know Georgina was asking earlier about in terms of price as well. If you're going to start getting into making curries, yeah, find yourself a decent sort of shop. You can get, a lot of areas have like an Asian supermarket, and you can get amazing spices, okay? Now, if you go to the supermarket, you tend to get like a little jar of that, different brands available, own brand, or obviously there's a very popular brand as well. And you might pay like £1 or so for a bottle of that, okay, of Garam Masala or whatever. And really, you're not going to get too much out of that, okay? I bought this the other day, so we'll say that's £1 for 40 grams. That's 400 grams, okay? I'm a better cook than I am at maths, but even I know that's 10 times the amount, yeah? So this here was about £2.50. So £1.50 more, and I got nearly, well, 9 times more than I've got in the jar, okay? Now we'll keep, you can store them in an airtight container in your kitchen, put them in a drawer, like, you know, your undercover cabinet, whatever, away from any moisture. But if you're going to get into making curries and using spice, because it's a great way of flavouring food, and by flavouring your food, you're less likely to use salt, and as we know, too much salt's not great for you. Split the cost. If that's £2.50, go out with the mate, split the bag, you've got 200 grams each, and you've paid more or less the same price as you have for 40 grams there. So split the cost of your bags. We've got curry powder here, you can get your smoked paprika, your cumin, your coriander, you name it, you can get it. Big shout out to Neil, he loves curries. If it's the Neil I'm thinking about, hello Neil, yes you do indeed, and you'll know all about that. Get these, go to places like your local market, Barnsley, Leeds Market's fantastic, they've got a little curry stand and you get bags and bags of these, and it's so much cheaper and they'll last as well, okay? Hopefully guys that's been useful for you. So we've now got our curry paste in the freezer, ready to make a curry. Big shout out to Amy as well, who also loves curry. There's lots of curry lovers today, so big shout out and hello to you. You've got your curry paste in the freezer. Friday night you come in, you make yourself a meal. And like I say, I will pop that on to the next video. If anyone's got any questions, please feel free to carry on adding them or send them on Instagram. Keep an eye on our YouTube feed as well. But that's how easy it is to make a curry paste from scratch. Nice and fragrant. A world away from buying a curried sauce. A little bit of effort, guys, is going to go a long, long way. Thanks ever so much for watching. I hope everyone's well and has a lovely weekend. A few little ideas of what you can use that paste for. Neil says that lamb tikka masala for his tea tonight. What time do you want us round? I love lamb. Lamb's great. Beef, obviously. Pork, prawns, vegetables. I mean, that paste even. You don't just have to make a curry out of it. You can actually, one of the things I like is cover it with like a cauliflower and roasting. You've got like a roasted tikka cauliflower. That's a nice thing to do. Over salmon as well. So it's a very, very versatile paste that you can use. Just get experimental with it. Hello to Suzanne as well, another curry lover. Wow, it's popular as this curry. We'll have to get some made. So yes, thanks ever so much for watching. We've got another live coming up mid-month. I'll post details about that online. If you've got any ideas of what you'd like to see, please drop us a note. That's absolutely fine. We're also looking at doing a cook-along as well. So if you're interested, drop us a message, we'll do a live cook along, we'll send you through what ingredients you're going to need, and we'll actually do that all together, and we'll finish off by making a lovely meal. Thanks for watching the curry tikka paste. Just before I go, I would just like to bring around Georgina, because I'm very aware that she's done 3 weeks on camera. Oh, someone says paneer tikka. From Restore Bright. Yes, that's a lovely one. So paneer, lovely cheese used a lot in Indian cuisine. That's a delicious one as well. Give that a go. As I say, before I go, I'd just like to bring Georgina around, just to say hello. So she is the brains behind the operation.
I hope you've enjoyed the curry paste today, and I really enjoyed doing the camera work as well. And I apologise to Facebook, who kept seeing my arm reaching over to show you what was in the blender.
Have a little smell of that.
I can smell it through the mask. That's fantastic.
Excellent. Thanks ever so much for watching, guys. This will be available on YouTube as ever, a little bit edited. I will put on a tikka masala recipe that I'll make using the paste as well at some stage, so we'll get that up to show you how to use the paste. Have a safe weekend, lots of cooking. You're doing amazing work out there, you guys, whatever you're doing in your communities, the food banks that are on there, people at FARESHARE, etc., Good Food Barnsley. Just anyone who's watched, have a great weekend, and I'm off to go and make a curry. I'll see you later.